We've spoken a lot about the coronavirus. Apple, some real rubber meets the road guidance now because of what's happening with the virus. Is this what we can expect from businesses all over the world now, given the uncertainty around coronavirus?
Well, I know absolutely nothing about Apple, but it's not surprising that you're going to have more larger companies with very complicated global supply chains focused on China coming out with warnings. In terms of the global trade cycle, I would highlight that what we're seeing at the moment is very different to when SARS hit in 2002 and 2003. Then we were seeing a strong rebound in world trade coming out of the dot-com bubble bursting when world trade actually had collapsed for a period. The situation now is that world trade obviously rolled over last year. According to the World Trade Organization yesterday, they have a World Trade Barometer that fell further into the first quarter of this year, and obviously that points the direction of travel. I would expect on the back of this, and I would also put in Brexit into the mix because I'm sitting here in London in Europe, more companies will be revisiting their economic models, and they will be looking at their supply chains, and we would expect to see a significant impact on global supply chain management going forwards. But in terms of the hit to global GDP, we still think it's not a major hit, but obviously we're watching developments closely.
So David, I wondered that there's been so much brought up about the uncertainty and the real unknown ripple effects of what's happening with the coronavirus. You're an economist who models these things. How exactly do you then put those inputs into your model, the uncertainty being a huge factor of this whole thing? How then do you know, or how do you predict what the actual economic outcome is going to be, knowing that nobody really knows what's going to happen?
Absolutely, Tom. I mean, a known unknown, lots of uncertainties. I mean, firstly, try and predict the impact on global trade, the repercussions. I'm sitting here in Europe, so the repercussions for the European economy more generally. And then you have to look at the sort of policy response or the expectation of a policy response. Now, obviously, we're not expecting any monetary policy response on the back of this, but it may be another reason to expect fiscal easing in some countries. I would argue that climate change is still much more of a major issue for the global economy going forwards than what we're seeing in China right now. But in terms of global GDP projections, I think people are bringing them down by around about 25, maybe up to 50 basis points off global GDP for this year. And those numbers are probably in the right ballpark. But at the moment, we simply don't know. As I say, if you're any major manufacturing company or a service-based company servicing manufacturing companies with extensive supply chain linkages, you will be looking at your your economic model, and this will have another repercussion on world trade going forwards for sure.